Hello. Hi guys, can you hear me? Welcome to the stream. I'm looking at the chat. Hi Matisse. Hey, I like pizza. Hey Jacob. So is it all audible? Let me know if you have any issues with the stream so I can start. Uh, hey Agnev, hi. I can see you now. So is it all audible? Uh, I think I am using my microphone. Let me just change it just in case. Hello. Is this better? Okay, I changed my microphone. Actually, I was not using the actual microphone. Yeah, so I changed it just now. I hope it's all fine. I can see it's catching up the audio, and I'm streaming along with Devanshu. You can find his link in the description. If not, you can just refresh the link again, so you can find the link. Devanshu will be streaming in Houdini, and I'll be using Blender. I already made some of most of it already, but I really want to like show and record the whole process, so I'm streaming it again. So what I did so far is this. So obviously the node setup is scary. We'll go through it one by one. I hope I can pull this off again, or else we can go through it slowly. Okay, what I did so far is this. A cute little bear, gummy bear. There's a lot of things which I want to change, but then I don't know how I can. But yeah, this is what I did. Hey Leo, hi. Uh, and yes, it kind of looks fine to me, but from the front view, it's not looking great. But from the side view, I think it looks nice. So I might render this in this view. Um, so let's try to make this one. I thought let's start a new file, and let's start with the sphere, and I'll be using round cube but changing this to quad sphere, and yes, I'm shade smooth, and let's add a subdivision surface modifier and adaptive subdivisions on, and I have this default material already set up. So is it all visible? Hopefully. So let's go to the render view, and obviously the lighting doesn't look great, so let's add a HDRI. Let's use Lapa, seems fine. Yeah, it's bright enough. And let's turn on transparency. And max subdivision is at 4, viewport subdivision is at 2. I think that's fine. I'm using GPU. I don't want to use denoising, but yeah. And my my door is ringing. Just give me a second, I'll be back. Hello, I'm back. So let's look at the thing now. Yeah, it looks good. And let's go to object and start doing the material. And I'll name this to candy. And let's save this file real quick. Save as day 2 candy Livestream. Yes. And let's start by adding texture coordinate and use the generated coordinate system. And I want to center the, I could use object coordinates, but then object coordinates keep changing when we add displacement to it, so it keeps updating, so it's not a good idea to use this one. Instead we can use generated coordinates, so it sticks to the surface. We can subtract 0.5 from everything and scale it by 2. Now the same thing happens. This is nothing but object coordinates. Yeah, so far so good. Now let's do some vector displacement. Am I audible? I can't say anything in the chat, so... Oh, whoa. Okay, I think it's from my side. The chat didn't update for a second. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Hey, Satya. JE physics is easy, trust me. And yeah, it's fine. It's not a frog. I wish I could do a frog. You know what I was thinking for the first time? I thought I should do a frog because it's a candy, and you know in Harry Potter there is frog, right? Like the chocolate frog. And because I'm a Potterhead, I thought that would be nice. But again, I thought it's kinda hard to make, so I just gave up on that. Maybe in the future I might do that one. So let's plug this directly to the displacement. Okay, something's happening, but we don't know what's happening. So how I started doing this, let me remember back. I kind of forgot everything. Let's separate x, y, z. So I have x, y, and z. As you can see, I want to like make a shape. Like let's mirror this. What happens if I scale this directly? Let's see. Scale this by this. Yes, there you go. So what exactly happened? So this is 0, right? So it's scaling here with 0, but here it is scaling by 1. So this pulls down, so it becomes like that. But to this, we have to subtract the object coordinate system. The same process I have been doing several times. I am sure you guys know about this one. But you can watch the previous streams where I explain this every single step. If you guys want me to, I can explain it again. But it's not a good thing to just repeat the same stuff whatever I did before, right? It's just time waste, and there's going to be a little late. It might take around 1 hour, 1.5 hour stream. I'm not really sure, depending upon what you guys want to see. If you have any doubts, you can ask. I'll try to explain my level best. And I think I'll start renaming stuff from right here, because when the node group increases, obviously it's going to get scarier and we'll get lost. So this one is basically converting generated to object coordinates, right? So let me rename this generated to object. So then separate xyz absolute. So this is the basic body, but then as you can see, because we are scaling, let me come back to material preview mode. So this is 0, right? And because it's absolute, right now this is -1 here and +1 there. So when I absolute it, it becomes from 1 to 1. So when I scale this vector by this one, when you scale things by 0, it's going to stick in the middle, right? Like it comes to the center and slowly it curves. And then finally what I did, I removed the existing coordinates from it, so we'll get the new form coordinates. And that's basically it. But because it's 0, I don't want it to scale completely there. So what I could do is I can add some value like this. So it scales just a bit, but then it kind of looks like what can I call this, like two blobs sticking together. And what else can we do? And I want the bottom part to be bigger than the small like the body and the head. The head is kind of small, right? Like they both are in the same shape, same size as well. So what I could do, I can take this z gradient, and this is going from -1 to 1, right? So let's map range it with from 0 to 1, I guess. -1 to 1 to 1 to 0 to 1. So this is 0 and this is 1. So when I multiply this directly to this, let's see what happens. Oh, okay. It's happening, like it's gradually increasing the radius, but as you can see, this is reverse, like the head should be upper, right? So we can simply change this one from -1 to 1, or else this one to 1 to 0. So let's do this. Yeah, there you go. It kind of works. Not the best, but yeah, it's a good start. So this is our basic body. Do you guys agree? Hopefully. There's like a 20-second lag, which is by default. So I'm curious what Devansh is doing. Check out his stream. He's amazing. And then let's arrange everything right now so I won't get lost. Yes. Sounds good. Looks good. Yeah. So this is the basic body. Control J. F2. Rename this to base body. Body base. So next what we have to do, let's start with eyes. I want to put eyes on top of this, or else we can still change this values because it's too blobby. We can grow from like something smaller to somewhere around there. So I mean, it's up to us. Let's go around there. Maybe let's go a little negative. That's fine, because it's still not really sure. How about that? I think that's good. We'll change the shape later as well, so not a problem. Unfortunately, my okay, it's not updating. Just in case if you guys are, let me open the stream in another laptop or something. So, oh yeah, now I can see the chat finally. Anyway, let's do something. Let's start with, because bear is like mirrored, like I mean it's symmetric, so we can get so now we can mirror this basically. So let's mirror. To do that, I can separate XYZ and then combine XYZ. I only want to mirror it in one direction, so let's choose the Y or the X. So where's my camera? Okay, let's set up a camera. Let's go to the front view. Let's delete this camera, which is not necessary. Control Alt 0. Yep, there you go. So from the camera view, it's the x-axis, so I want to mirror the x-axis. So let's do that. Let's connect everything. I'm using Node Wrangler to do this really fast, and to mirror it, all we have to do is add a math node and change this to absolute. And yeah, so far so good. So this is mirrored in all only in the x direction. So what can we do next? This is going to be a mirrored coordinate, so let's rename this again. Let's change this to mirrored coordinate. Okay, let's get some space here. Mostly now I'll be using this one for everything except for masking, I guess. So let's see what can we do with this. So let's add a vector math node and change this to distance. I'll tell you what this is doing, but just give me a second. And let's add a combine XYZ node. Let's add a normalize node. Normalize is basically in the vector math. Let's normalize this. What normalize does, it basically converts every single vector into a unit vector. So it always lies on the surface. So now let's see. Okay. So what this is basically doing is when you normalize a vector, it's going to lie on the sphere or whatever that is. So right now, this is a sphere, like, as I told, generated coordinates is going to stick to the surface. So normalize will basically takes your vector and like any vector and converts into one like unit vector. So, and unit vector is always of one magnitude, and it's going to stick onto the surface because the generated coordinates will stick onto the surface. So now we can basically use this one to place our eyes. So Z to basically move in the Z direction, X to move in the X direction, Y to move in the Y direction, but Y is going to be that side, right? So it's going to sweep onto the surface. So where shall we place our eyes? So somewhere around there. Yeah. And maybe X. Yeah. I think that's a good location. We can change it later anyway. So let's arrange everything. Now what I could do is I can take a math node and change this to subtract and invert this. There you go, we start getting our eyes. So distance is nothing but a length which gives you the distance field from the location to the origin, except this is going to like, hey Abhishek, hi, how are you? And Matisse. Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking, like we could do a snowman with this. Probably we can do. But is there any prompt that's going to be like snow or something? I'm not really sure. Let me check. No, I will check later. Let's continue with the stream. So next, take a value node, because this is going from 0 to, like, from 0, actually not from 0, from negative values to 0.12. I want it to go from 0 to 1. So it's easier to like, let's divide with the same value. It's easier to like use the what is it called, RGB curves. So we can change this here, but this is going to always stay from 0 to 1, and because we have negative values in the background, we can use this clamp option to clamp everything. So this is going the black part is perfectly 0. So when you multiply or add anything, any like the previous vector, which is this particular vector, with 0, this will stay put, right? Because you're not adding anything at these locations, because this is 0. But the whites or this gradient can be used to shift the vertices. So that's how basically vector displacement works. So what I can do is I can take a scale node, like vector math scale node, and I can scale the coordinates, which is basically the generated coordinates, right? And not the mirrored coordinates. Mirrored coordinates is going to give you a different result. So now you can take this and put it here. So we can either add or subtract depending upon what direction it is. So let's, like, if you add like or subtract, let's subtract first. It's going in the opposite direction. If you can't see much, but as you can see, look at that, it's going in the opposite direction. So let's add it instead of subtracting. There you go. It doesn't look exactly the same. That's because the scale node scales in all directions, right? So the vector is going to be in the above direction. Instead, we don't want it to shift along the z direction, right? So like if you look at it, you want it to move in only y direction, right? So what we could do is, instead of using a scale node, we can use a multiply node and take a combine xyz node, plug it here and connect this to the y socket. There you go, it's going right straight there, straight. Or else you can also shift it in the y direction if you want. You can scale it, so this going into a different direction, which is like properly normal. And if you put this through the z directions, the displacement will be in the z direction as well. I don't want it to be in the z direction, but maybe, yeah, because it's a curved surface, let's do x and y. Okay, and obviously this is too much, so this is where we can use RGB curves to shape the thing. So let's take a RGB curves node and place it here. Yeah, cute gummy bear. Thank you. So this because this is like a linear gradient here. Like let's mute this for a second. This is like a linear gradient that goes from 0 to 1. So we can use RGB curves, a little bit of math functions to attain the same technique. But I'm using RGB curves because it's fine. We can use anything. Depending on, like, this shape is kind of simple, so we can also do this with math. So how can we do that with math? We'll do it with math as well, but for now let's get the correct size. Okay, let's take a math node and we can multiply this height. So there you go, with little less, and that's it. We got the eyes of the gummy bear. Let's keep it somewhere around there. We can change the shape and size later on, but yeah. Hey, Eat Master. So that's it. This is basically eyes. So if you don't if you mute this, it's going to be triangle, like a proper triangle. So we could use RGB curves, or else let's do some math. Math is pretty simple. Like we can take sine or cosine, depending upon which one is good. So sine is kind of doing it, but what about cosine? Cosine is doing in the opposite direction, I guess. Yeah. So what else can be done? Sine with a power node, I guess. Power 0.5. There you go. That's it. It's perfect, almost perfect. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I think that's fine. Because instead of using RGB curves, you can use math functions to basically shape it. Because RGB curves is computationally expensive, I think I'll go with this one. Doesn't really matter though. RGB curves gives you more control without any math. But yeah, anything is fine. So that's it. That's a good start, I guess. And this is going to be the same technique, like because we are going to take the circular gradient and then scaling it all the time. So this is ice, so let's rename everything. Apparently this stream is going really fast. I expected this to go slow. Hey Benjamin, hi. Hey Pawan. I might animate it like from a sphere to this, but nothing more than that, because I don't think so I'm really that good yet. I want to learn though. So let's rename this to ice. Shall we start with the shaders so that it looks good? This one was suggested by Syncretic. It's a really good method which I learned from him today in the morning. So what he basically did is he took a glass shader, because I'll tell you why he did that, but glass shader, and then he took a transparent shader. Let's add transparent. Let's mix them together, and let's take light path and ray depth to the factor. So this is basically the shinier surface, so you can increase the roughness to make it look more like gummy bear. So next up, we want the inners, right? Like the red colors and stuff. There's a little bit of things going on there, so I'll take it slow and explain you what he explained me, basically. Shout out to him. He's such a nice guy. What Instagram handle in the description is incorrect? I'm sorry. Let's see what is there in the description. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. It should work now. You can refresh it and probably that should work. Let me know if it works, or else I'll share the link in the chat. So this is only our like shaders. So we can use subsurface scattering and stuff, which might give us really good results. But he said instead of subsurface, we can use volumetrics. I know volumetrics sounds scary, but it's not that slow though, you know. So instead of using principal volume, use volume scatter and volume absorption both. And for the color, we can use an RGB and plug it there. And for the density, what he basically did is he took the same color, separated the HSV, or not XYZ, HSV, and combined them later again, and plugged everything like this, and took a value node. No, I think a multiply node, like 5 or something, and he basically plugged this. Okay, he basically added them together. So let's add shader and plug this to the volumetric socket, and let's change the color to somewhere around red. Multiply this by 5, and density is going to be, I don't think so he did this one, but I think he did this. Hopefully this should work, or else I look back to the nodes, not a problem. Is that what he did? Not really sure. Yeah, he basically, oh wait a second, yes, I got it. So what he did basically is he took HSV, separated them, and then multiplied this one with some value, and used the same value, like this 5, let's say 5, use the same value as density. Why is this not working? Okay, shader. Yep, that's it. And let's rearrange everything again, and let's give it around 3 or 4. And what else can be done to this? We can decrease roughness, and we can change the color later on, but yeah. So I'm getting the shiny look, right? That's the start. So we can change the color, so we're getting the gummy bear look. There's a little more thing which we did, I forgot. Well, let me check the chat. Oh yeah, it's working. Yeah, Pawan, I think the volume absorption is actually good. It should work though. I'm not really sure why it's not working. I think I'm using the same nodes what he suggested to use. Yeah, probably. Let's lower this down. And is it ray length or ray depth? Let me know. Oh, 1.3, because yes, look at from this front. Volumetrics are done. Everything is done. Let's increase the brightness. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. I mean, I like this one. I'm not really sure if you guys like it, but yeah. So we got this at like gum, and we can add translucency as well. Look at from side, you should actually see the translucency. And let's add translucency and see. Translucent, and let's mix them together. This is complete translucent, and that is complete. I'm really fiddly with this ones. Okay. Oh, I think this looks good. Yeah. We can add some normal details on top of this, but then let's stop it right there. And let's continue with the vector displacement. That's what we should basically concentrate on. So I'll take away the surface and everything. Let's use a diffuse shader for now, because that'll give us all the details that we want to watch. So what else can we do then next? Let's do the ears. Okay, ears all the same. I mean, it's all about, let's duplicate the same thing, and let's look at the distance. And if you look at the top, we have to increase the Z height, right? So let's bring it up around there, and let's move it along X, which is this direction. Is that a good place for ears? Or else we can change it anyway. So next, we are subtracting. As you can see, we can do something else here. These are completely circles, but then ears are kind of like this, right? Rounds and extruded like this. I'm really bad at doing that. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. See ya, Benjamin. Yeah, Leo. Let's take a vector math node, or else let's duplicate this one. Let's place it there, and let's change this to multiply. Okay, let's look at the divide node, and let's multiply with 1 1 1 for now. And if you basically squish it along one direction, you can see it's getting like an oval shape. That's what I'm looking for. And you can increase the radius of this now, somewhere around that. That's too much actually. Okay, somewhere around that. Now we can displace this with the same techniques. So we can use sine, cosine, multiply, combine x, y, z, and let's add that to this. I mean, it might not work exactly how we want. We can use RGB curves later on, but yeah. Also, is it subtract? Add. Okay, it is happening, but as you can see, this is really low. So we can increase the value here, I guess. And it's not displacing in the Z direction. That's the problem. So let's give this to Z as well. There you go. And what about Y? What about X? So if you give it only to the Z direction, it will look something like this, only in the Z direction, but we want it in the other directions as well. As you can see, this is not perfectly round. So this is where I think I'll use RGB curves instead. And let's change this to somewhere on that. There you go. And we can now change it however we want it to look like. So I think it can be a little bit front, and to that we can change this in the Z direction to about, not there, that's fine. And the size is to, let's go to the metal preview mode, and let's get this front a bit, side a bit, and let's give it this about that. Yeah, about that. Now let's look at this one. This should look different. Yes, I think I'll stop it right here. And this is like and if you want to make it look perfect, obviously you have to get fiddly with everything and change it accordingly. So this is how things are. like this is how you can get the shapes, basically, like how to displace and stuff. So next up, what can we do? What else are there? We can add the mouth, or else we can add the uh, arms. Basically, I think I can do the same thing over and over again. There's nothing much happening. So let's duplicate this again, and let's see. We can change the Z direction to about there, arms, and we can change this to 1 to make it circular, but it's not circular because it's already displaced. And we can squish it in, I guess. Not that way, but this way. Which way are we going to squish it? Not really sure. Let's use the divide node instead. Weird. Let's look at this one. Distance. I want it to, yeah. Yes, something's happening, I guess. Okay. Yep. I have to squish it in the Z direction, yeah. And now let's look at the subtract. Let's increase the radius, and let's get this down a bit. To get this down in Z direction, we can add or remove Z, right? About there, I guess. And maybe decrease it, and we can place it even further down. Probably. Oh, it's a really sharp extrusion, as you said, right? Oh, that's because I'm starting from here. So what I can do is simply put another point and get this down like this. Now if you look at that ears now, the diffuse shader, I'm sure it is solved. I mean, I have to refresh everything. It's going to take a while. There you go. It's smooth. Let's look at the other angle. I mean, this is far because the camera angle, viewing angle, but I think this is fine, or else we can change it, we can tweak it a little more. Let's tweak it a little more actually. Let's change this to 0.2 or something. Fine. Let's, okay, wait a second, I think, okay, eyes, okay, I'm doing it here, I should be doing it there. Yes. Well, let's see if this works. It should actually work. Yes, RGB curves are great to actually control the profile. So I'm able to follow guys. I mean, this is basically vector displacement. All I have to do is just fiddle around everything. I'm doing this second time because I want to really learn, and also the first time I did, it took me around like 5 hours, I guess. So at least to get this far, it took me around like 2-3 hours. Because I know what I did before, it's kind of helpful. Let's look at the thing now. Looks fine, but then we need more translucency. Let's save the file. And I think I want to like squish it in one direction. Like it looks too blobby, right? Not really sure what I can do about that. But let's try squishing it. In which direction? Let's squish it about this direction, like on the both sides. So let's take a math node. Let's put it there, and Let's invert this to 1 minus. So now we have the gradient going from 0 to 1. So when you scale this up, the place where it is 1, I think it'll stay put. Everything else will squish it. It's just a view. I'm not really sure if this will help, but let's see. Let's add a map range, and let's change this to smooth step so we can have more subtle fall off. Let's take a vector math and let's scale it. Scale the coordinates, I guess. Scale. Let's change this things first. Let's scale the coordinates about this, and let's try to add this or subtract this to this one. What's happening? Obviously something should happen. Okay, let's see. Multiply. Yeah. Yes, we should multiply this. Yeah, it's happening. As you can see, the two direction are like getting squished. We can change that here, like to about that, to make it look normal, I guess. And it's happening in all directions because it's in X. So let's use another combine XYZ node. Let's only plug this to one direction, which could be around, which direction can this be? Or in X direction. Maybe we should increase that even more. Okay, something is happening here. Okay, if you increase up, it's moving in the other direction. So probably we should decrease it down. Lot of fiddly stuff. And let's change this to there. Not really what I wanted. Yeah, we could do that. But I want to make it look clean though, like let's go to the previous one. I'll show you what I mean by that. So here, as you can see here, if I just leave it like a render, it kind of looks fine to me because this is how jelly looks, and actual gummy bears looks like that. Maybe a bit more transparency can help. But yeah, I mean that's how I have seen gummy bears. So so what did I do here? So everything, see, if you look at my previous node setups, it's the same functions over and over again. Everything shaping with the RGB curves. Say, look at till here, everything is same, right? Maybe I'm using a little bit of smooth step to basically blend things too smoothly, but everything is the same thing. So this technique is faster. We can make this into a node group if you guys want, but then I think it's duplicating is fine just to see how big the node group how big the node setup gets, right? And what else can be done? I don't know. I wanna squish it and like what happens if I add something to Y? Okay, let's duplicate this. Now instead of X, let's use Y. Like, let's try the same thing with Y. Okay, now if I increase here, okay, it's increasing that side. So let's decrease it about there, 0.2, not negative, 0.2. 0.2 looks too blobby. 0.1. What? Nothing's happening. Okay, I think I have to go negatives. Minus 0.2. Yeah, it kind of looks squished. What if I go here, negative as well? It's giving a different weird look. Like, oh, this looks like a panda. Like, the shape looks like a panda, I guess. Not really sure. And So can you guys hear me? Even when Mom's watching the stream, she said that it's not audible. Matisse, what is that? Let me read the comment. Yes. Because you try that. You try that. It's a task for you. You try that and tell me if that works, okay? And let's see what else can be done. Let's look at this smooth step function. Okay, this is basically doing that. Okay, let's increase this. Nothing's happening. Let's decrease this. Okay, let's decrease this even bit. Let's use linear. Let's look at the diffuse shader. Nah, I think I'm kind of ruining it. What if I don't invert this? What if I invert this? Ooh, look at that. That's such a big shift. Like from a chubby panda to like a very full-blown panda. Like a... I think I like the little bit chubby one. There you go. Yep. And let's continue. So what I can try to do is, instead of like, can you see like we are getting a little bit of stretches here? I think that's because of the linear. Let's change this to smooth step. Okay, that's even getting worse. I'm not really sure what's happening. Let me know if you guys know anything. Let's change this to 1. Like, why exactly is this happening? I should basically squish it in 2 directions, right? So basically multiplying the whole vector with let's do something else. Like, I have a weird thought about this one. It might work. So let's multiply with 1 for now, and let's okay, can you see if I do in the y direction, I'm actually getting somewhere. So let's decrease this so that it kind of gets thinner. Okay, and what about this x? Will that get thinner? Yeah, but can you see? Okay, let's also add this. Let's connect that. Okay, this one should be add and this one should be multiply. Okay, let's see if this will work. Yes, this is kind of working. Not exactly, but yeah, kind of. We can squish it. We can make it bulge in the x and y direction. About that, yeah. What about x direction? Yes. How does the diffuse look? No, it doesn't look like a gummy bear, does it? But let's continue with this. Let's see where this goes. Anyway, this is like a cheap trick which I think might work. Not really sure, but let's see. Now to add the arms, I should be using mirrored coordinates, obviously. Mirrored in one direction. Distance. Wait a second, something's happening. Okay, yeah, I got that masks. Let's place this down a bit. Why is this not helping? Let's change this to positive. Let's go from 0, 0, 0. I think we are okay. We have X, we have Y, we have Z. Yep. Now we can take the divide node. Let's remove the RGB curves just to see how the displacement works. And let's add this to our displacement. So okay, did you guys see what happened? We basically shifted everything, right? Like, let's mute this. Oh yeah, shifted everything in all different directions, like X, Y, and Z. Maybe the Z is not that visible. Let's take a math node and let's multiply this with something else. Yes. Hey, I think we can use this to like animate it, don't you think? Like flapping animations like bird. Here, Maya, yeah, I think vector math is not that complicated actually. I mean, I might sound like, oh, like, but yeah, honestly, I don't think so. It's that complicated. I might actually do this, but yeah, just give me a second. Instead of using in X, Y, and Z direction, okay, Z direction is basically animating it, right? So we could try a math node. Like, let's use RGB curves instead. Let's shift in one direction. X direction is fine. Y direction, let's shift in Y direction. Okay, Y direction. Let's take a math node and let's multiply this with really huge. Okay, now you can see that it's actually like shifting, right? So this is too much, obviously. Let's go about 2 and maybe 3. Yeah, and let's take RGB curves. Place it right before that. We can curve this a bit. There's too much displacement, so let's get this down. Let's decrease this a bit more. And obviously the radius seems off, right? So let's look at the material preview mode. Okay, I'm using volumetrics. Yeah, I should remove that. That's why my laptop is heating up. Okay, this is too less basically, so maybe we should make it a little bigger. Yeah, about that. Let's look at this now. It's going to be too big. Yeah, perfect. I think that's fine. We can handle that, can we? Let's look at the diffuse shader. I can teach you vector math, but let's see. Okay, you're 13. I think it's fine. Let's let me send some links. It's called 3 blue 1 brown. 3 blue 1 brown, and his channel is amazing for maths. And there is this one thing called Essence of Linear Algebra, which is really amazing. I'll share the playlist. It's like a must-watch playlist if you are into like vector maths. Good grammar and spelling. And let's copy this playlist and let's put this here in the chat. Okay, that's the one. And that's really good place to start, honestly. Really good place to start, honest. Let me know if it actually helps you. I'll be... Yeah, Matisse, 3 blue 1 brown. His neural network series is amazing, right? Don't you think? And obviously I can see some issues happening here. What we could do for that is maybe like get this down a bit. Yep. And what about the front view? Okay, kinda looks bad. I mean, it's not bad. It's kinda off. Yeah. Okay, now let's increase this to 4. Yep. Let's increase this height. Okay, not the height. Let's increase this to 2, 3. And obviously I think I can change the blob. How can I change this one? I'm not really sure. I don't want this curve edge. So maybe because it's in the X direction, let's shift this in X direction as well. Let's plug this directly to the X. Okay, in the X direction, as you can see, it's too much. Let's change this to 1 or 0.5. it's becoming something else. I didn't expect this to turn out this way, but whatever. It's kind of looking nice, but it's not like a gummy bear anymore. Oh no, what am I doing? Okay, let's decrease the multiplication factor to somewhere about there. Let's bring this down then. Will this help? Let's change this to negative. Let's bring this up. As you can see, it's shifting in the negative directions though. I don't know how I can make it this round. This is the problem with my previous shader as well. Like, what I was doing here. Look at this. It looks fine in the side views, right? Like it looks, cute or whatever. But then if you come to the front view or the top view, you can see it's not perfectly curved. It's just extruded out. Hopefully I can figure this out some other time. Not really sure if at all. If I do, I think I'll make a video about that. Yeah, I could actually do that, but not really sure. Like, I don't know how to flatten it. That's the problem. like, let's see. Let's delete these two for now. I'll tell you what I'm trying to say. So this is what we have right now, right? Let's change this to 0.1, like 2 again. Like, let's take off this. As you can see here, this is just extruded out. Maybe we can decrease the radius or something. It might help a bit, but then now we can increase the extrusion to 3. It's not really helping. That's the problem. Like the shape, it's not helping. Wait a second. What just happened? Why is this happening in the opposite direction? If I do this, it's curving in. If I do this, it's curving out. Oh wow, weird. Never know what happens. Okay, let's figure out what just happened. Okay, let's take a time. Let's take a deep breath. So let's look at this. Okay, these are zeros or negative values. Negatives here, and this is 0, and here it is 0. Okay, so the 1, I thought the 1 is here. It's not, it's right here. So the 1 is here. So if you try to curve it, it's going to like become that, obviously. What am I even thinking? Yes, let's change shape then now. Let's bring this up. And maybe this down. Maybe this up. Yep. That's actually helping. Nice. I didn't expect that to work. Okay, let's see the multiplication factor to how much. What if I add something? Okay, it's adding everything to the Z direction. This is not good. We should be using only this ones. So let's take this and change this to 2.5, I guess. Yeah, I don't want it to be too apparent, okay? That's fine. Well, let's look at the diffuse. Is it all covered? Okay, I still have this one issue. I think that can be fixed again here. So look at this. I came back to this sharp curve, right? So let's get this down just a bit. Look at that. Yeah, it's gone. I think it's fine. Let's bring this down a bit more. Bring this down a bit more. Let's go to 4. 6. Whatever. Hey JC, hi, how are you? Good to see you here. What time is it over there anyway? Now let's take this, but maybe add something to the y or x. It's not add, I guess. It's maybe multiply to basic. Okay, look at that. Ooh. Let's change this to 2, and maybe let's bring this down a bit more. Curves. I think I messed up somewhere, didn't I? Let's change this to 1.2. I think it's fine. Doesn't have to stress much about this one anyway. Let's get back to like 3 or something. You know what? Let's remove this. Let's start again. Okay, I have this. Let's change this to 3 for now. Let's take RGB curves, plug it over there, and bring this up. That's it. I don't want to stress anything more. Let's keep it simple. Not too much, but yeah, that. Yeah, I'm sure your cookie is going to look good. And then what else do we have? Let's look at the legs. Legs are also pretty same, just duplicating and placing it again. And where can we place it? Let's just look at the material preview mode once more. This is where our legs are, I mean like our hands were, right? And this is where the legs are right now. Is it? Hopefully. Let's get this down about there, I guess. Let's look at the rendered view, and let's look at the okay, not actually working as expected. Let's get everything back to zeros. Let's look at the Y component. Okay, right now it is here. I need to get this front, so X component there, about there. Z component about. Okay, why is this not working? Maybe let's start over. Now I have this coordinates. Let's change everything to 1 for now. And let's take a vector math node, change this to distance, not divide, distance. And let's take a combine XYZ node and plug it there and just normalize them using another vector math node, changing this to normalize, connecting this over there. And okay, this is where it is right now exactly. Wait a minute. What if I normalize this again? Okay, that's kind of what I think I did previously, because this one is not in the, it's not a unit vector anymore, right? Yeah, when I divide this, shouldn't I normalize that? like, let's normalize this one more time. Normalize this. So we have this. Apparently, let's change this to 2 or 1 for now. Let's not do anything. Except, let's play with this one for a second. Yeah, are we getting the rounds? Yes, we are. Let's decrease the radius a bit less. Oh, yeah, and let's bring this up and bring this down. Bring this down, and the location is off. So let's look at the distance. Let's bring this up about there. Hopefully it should work. Yes. Now it's working. Now let's just change this to 2. Perfect, without any issues. Yeah, that's what. Why did I normalize it? So see, if I make a distance, if I do a distance between 2 vectors, the distance is going to be on a sphere. Like, it's going to stick onto the surface. So because I'm using object coordinates, that's exactly how this works. So let's duplicate this now. Let's look at the other distance now. Let's bring this down there, about there. Yeah, and maybe front, and bring this down now. And let's look at the this one, and let's change the radius of the, and let's multiply this with 2, combine XYZ, multiply, and let's add it. Hopefully this should work. Yeah, something's happening. Let's look at it. Yes, we are getting somewhere. Okay, the legs are bigger than the thing, so I'm looking at it in the far angle because it loads soon. So if I increase the radius, it should actually have some impact. It's only in the y direction, so yeah, sure, I'll try. It's an errand server and it's fine if you're busy. Oh no, it's fine. We're just hanging out here, so and then why exactly something weird happening? What I'm multiplying with? I'm multiplying with the same vectors. Oh damn it, I'm changing the wrong things. Yes, I'm changing the wrong things. That's why I said we have to rename everything accordingly when right away. So let's rename this to legs. Let's rename this to arms. And this is eyes. Eyes are fine. No, these are not eyes. Is it? Yeah. What are these? Ears. Hey SG Music, welcome. Let's add this again one last time. Hopefully this should work now. And yes, I think it's working. Not sure, but yeah. Okay, we have this. Let's bring this back a bit, and not too much, just a bit. Okay, about there. And let's bring this down. Negative Z direction. Let's increase the radius just a bit more. Okay, this is too much, right? Okay, let's decrease this just a bit, like 0.22. I think that's fine. We basically made like a I don't know what to call this. Oh, It's a very big bear. It's not what I did though. Is it? Yeah, that's it so far. Maybe let's look at the things together. This should look fine. I think this is fine. Yeah. Any feedback, guys? How is this looking? Obviously not like a proper gummy bear, but yeah. I think the stream is lagging a bit. Not really sure. Let's rename this to shaders. Like surface shader. And this one to volume shader. Let's remove this transparency. I don't think so. Translucency. I don't think so. This is necessary. Yes, now it looks better. More like jello. And I think we could actually increase this to about 4. Let's wait until the viewport renders. Yeah. Now, JC, are you still here? I might need some help. And what can be done? Oh, we have to add the face. How can we forget face? What shall we do? Let's start with the object coordinates. Let's take a vector math. Distance. And let's look at the vector like combine xyz. Let's normalize this using this function, and let's plug it there. Let's look at it. Okay, now we have this, right? I'm not shifting it in the x direction for now, but I'm only shifting it in the z direction. Okay, like if you look at this, mouth should be somewhere about there, and eye should be a little up. We'll change that later, but mouth should be about there, right? And let's change the eyes to a little bit above location, and well, even a bit more, yeah, there, perfect. Now what we could do is, can you bring everything down? Oh no, it went too big. Yeah, let's rearrange everything so it's easy to access. What happens if I mute this? Yes, we need this one. I have no idea. Like the second time it's fast because I do know what I have to do, but again there's a lot of problem solving skills that I have to tackle, right? Not skills, problem solving. Okay, something just happened. I messed up something. What did I do? Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Yep. I think I kind of left something. Scale Y 0. Next, what can we do is we can take the same technique, math node, subtract a bit, like about there. Yes, as okay, like before. I think I'll divide this by some higher value. Where did that go? I think let's say 1 1 1. And let's look at the subtract node again. Let's squish this up to do anything. I think I should normalize this again. And let's squish this in the Z direction. Yeah, not in any other direction, in Z direction. And let's place this up a bit more. Yeah, I think I'll add Jesse to the call. Let's see if he can pick up. And let's invert this. So now I have this mask, right? This is where I think I'll place the mouth. And for that, let's use... Hey, Jesse.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear Jesse, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's off sync with the stream. The stream is like
Yeah.
10
10
seconds
10
after
seconds.
what I hear in the call, but that's fine.
Yeah. So, how was the thing stream so far? Like, is it understandable for you? Obviously, I guess. You taught me. You taught me how to do vector displacement in the first place. And so I had this issue so far. The thing is, I want to make this hands round, right? When you see it from the front view, it's not round. Let me go to this. Yeah. How can I make it round? Do you have any inputs? How can I make that round and extrude this front? Jesse, you're muted. I mean, I can't hear you.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
no.
stream just got to the part where you put it in front view.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, tell me. Like, do you have any inputs how I can make this straight? Like the circles?
How exactly are you doing the hands?
I think I'm just using distance to place the circles, like, these things, and then masking those things out and extruding this front using
Well, the
multiply.
circles should be more circular from the front then.
Yeah, that's exactly
It looks like they're being projected from the side.
Yeah, that's because I'm like, see, if I do this and this, you can see like they're projected from side. Yeah, that's the problem. Because I have to place it from there, right? So it has to extrude from there to front. That's what I thought.
You should be able to do it from the front.
Really? Let me try that. So, and I don't have to like skew it, right? Like in any direction.
No, you should just be able to project the circles from the front.
Yeah, that's basically here. Like, let's look right up.
What coordinates are you using for
Generated
the circles?
coordinates, yeah. I mean generated coordinates, but then mirrored. I think that's fine. So as you said, let me bring this down there, and let's shift it in the y direction. So this is the front view. Like, this is the projection from the front view. But as you can see, these are a little bit skewed, right? There and there.
Yeah, it's better than what you had before.
I guess so. Let's try to extrude this with the same Shift D, Alt P, and let's try that.
Oh, I see the problem now.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Just stretch them out more.
Like, okay, I let me just plug these
like how
two
you
things
just reversed the skew by changing the scale of the x-axis to 1. You can just scale it even more.
Yeah, should I like where did I skew it? I think I skewed it here, right? Like X, Y, and Z direction. About that. Let's get this about there. Little bit front. And yeah, let's see if that works. This should probably work, Not really. And okay, it's inverted, right? And what am I multiplying with? I think I should multiply with the other one. The generated coordinates. And let's add this to this one. And everything is gone. Oh, I have to clamp it, I guess. Yeah. Let's see how this looks now. Hopefully better, but then can you see? It's still the same, but I have this really sharp corners as a problem. Like how to like tackle this one. This is what I had in my previous one as well. Like what is it called? The Among Us character. When I extrude the legs, I used to get this ugly thing.
You can use curves and or smooth step or power or something
Yeah,
to round those off.
yeah. So I tried. I like even then. I think I guess. Okay, let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, I use curves, right? RGB curves. The one is here. It's not here or somewhere. Like when I round it, look at that. It's going to that direction because the distance here you have the highest value. So I think I have to remove something over there in the other direction. Did you get it? Hello? Hey, Oxygen, welcome.
The stream is still lagging behind. Can you stream on Discord as well as YouTube so I can see without delay?
Uh, okay, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Yes, I will stream on Discord as well. Hopefully my internet doesn't lag and YouTube. Let's see how YouTube is going on. Oh, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so here the diffuse shader, as you can see, it's not like this one, right? Here I'm getting this ugly thing, like it's not straight because the one, like it's right here.
Because the
So
original geometry is not straight, you need to
yeah,
correct it in some way.
yeah, I have no idea how I have to do that. That's the problem. So I gave up on the other stream as well, the Among Us character stream.
You could approximate it by just having a gradient
Yeah,
that's coming out from the center and adding it or multiplying it.
yeah. So
I mean,
I
from
need
the
a grid,
center of the bear, just in
one
the
direction,
two
right?
directions.
Yeah, so that could be this, right?
Yes, you can just use that to offset the skew.
Yeah, let's do this. Okay, let's look at that from straight now. Now I can, what if I add this? Add doesn't work. Subtract doesn't work. I think it's multiply.
It should be multiply. You can use curves or something to make it stronger or weaker.
Yeah, let's see. This. No, this. This. Nothing's happening. That's a problem. Let's try.
That's your curve for the arm shape. add another curve for the absolute value
Oh, okay.
to
Oh, that's fancy. Yes, probably this should work. I wasn't even having aware about this before. Like we could do this in this way. So what's happening here? So let's change this to 1. Let's instead of multiply, let's subtract 7. So let's look at the diffuse.
it's a little better.
It's still better, but yeah, that's the same thing which I had. Okay, so I can still make this straight by approximating it. So I need to check this and do it slowly. What happens if I do this? Wait a second, let me think about this in this way. I have to subtract less here. So I think I should invert this, the curve. Let's do this. And let's increase the strength here, or in the negative direction. Add, multiply. Yeah, I think this is working. It's better than like what it was there before. And yes, there's one more thing which I could tackle here. In the previous stream, in the previous thing, whatever I did, let me open the finished project, the candy one, like this one. Can you see it? JC?
What?
Here, like in the side view, I want to make the background flat. So is there anything which I can do for that?
Yes. For the vector displacement, after doing all the rest of the calculations, you can add it to the original coordinates and then flatten the back and subtract the original coordinates again.
Oh, okay. Let's try that in the live stream one. So right now I have this, right? As you said, we can add the original coordinates to this, which is going to be this one. And to flatten this,
You can flatten the back by separating it by XYZ and
yeah,
doing
masking Z.
smooth maximum or something
Yeah,
on the Y.
yeah. So I have this. Let's bring it up there. And let's delete everything. Let's combine X, Y, and Z to this. And let's add this to this one. Another coordinates, obviously. And to the Y direction, I think I should do the smooth maximum. Yesterday, Gabe was doing this technique. And I'm not sure if this is
Be
working.
smooth minimum, actually.
Yes.
Have the distance at 0 to test it out before increasing it.
Okay. So this is what I have right now.
Yeah, and
Side
then
view.
subtract the original coordinates after.
Okay, the same thing. Okay, let's subtract. This is a good technique. I never knew about this one before. Yes. Okay, Now let's flatten this up by smooth minimum. Yeah, it kind of doesn't work.
Worry about the value first before the distance.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's increasing. Now if I smooth it.
Wait, why is it still all blobby?
Yeah, I'm
After
not sure.
subtracting the original coordinates, it shouldn't have that problem.
Let's do smooth maximum.
Oh, wait. Um, you're, yeah, instead of doing, uh, you should have what, can you zoom out?
Yeah, sure. The coordinates.
Yeah, instead of whatever you're plugged into the mirrored chords, you should have the result of the previous node.
Result of the previous node. Oh, this one?
Like that. Yeah, that one.
Okay. Okay, smooth minimum. And let's look at the
Now put the
value.
distance to 0 and it should work perfectly.
Yeah, almost
See,
perfect.
now
Yeah.
it's perfectly flat and you
Yeah.
can change it.
Yeah. Oh, this is amazing. This is actually a really good technique. So you have to plug this one to the mirror, to this, let's delete this once, to this one and add the original coordinates and then subtract it back. I think this one should be the one actually. Not really sure. I'm just testing out what can be done. Let's plug this. Yeah, I think I'll go for this one. This is basically what I wanted. And finally, let's also add a few more things to this. Like let's add legs. Legs could be the same technique again. Let's delete this one. Let's add back the legs just by adding these two things together. Okay, now I think I should add and mask things out just a bit more. Let's multiply this with a bigger number. And it looks like a proper teddy bear now. Let's get these things down. Yes. Alright about that. And let's plug this back. Yes. And obviously I think I should kind of squish this down a bit more in any one of those directions. Yeah, that's fine. And get this out a bit more in the X direction. I don't know which side it is, but okay, I'm doing the wrong ones. Here, the legs, right about there, and that should be fine. Thank you, JC.
You're welcome.
And then, let's see. Hey, Michael. Yeah, it's a gummy bear. This is like I'm just doing it second time in the stream, but it's actually working fine. Let's plug the things right there. Okay, the surface, and this should be the volume. So far we have this. So how's it going, Michael? What you doing? And everything is from a sphere. So anyway, next up, what I think I should do is like add the mouth, which I think I was already working on it previously, which now I deleted, I guess. So let's do it once more. let's duplicate the same thing again, Control Shift D, except this time because we know where the moth could probably be, it should be somewhere above, right? And instead of using the mirrored coordinates, because moth is not, we only have one moth, you don't have to, so let's get this there. Yeah, now let's change this to 1 just to see everything, and let's change everything to 0, at least x to 0 and y to 0 and z to 0. Now okay, why am I getting this? Obviously I'm plugging the volume in. Let's remove that. And let's get this front about there. Let's move this up in the Z direction. Let's look at this in the render view. Yeah, it's perfect. It's in perfect location anyway. So now let's look at this one. Okay, now as you can see, this is not how it's going to be like, so we have to skew this a bit more in Z direction. So let's skew it or squish it and increase radius to somewhere about there. And yeah, that's fine. Now let's extrude this, and everything is already there, so let's add this back. Yeah, as you can see, it's too much. What can we do? Like, we can decrease the multiplication factor to like 0.3 or something. 0.3 seems small. Okay, 0.3 is fine. All we have to do is like play with the curves now. So we can bring the curve up and bring this up as well. I think that's fine. Let's see in the diffuse view. According to the diffuse shader, as you can see, this is small. It's not big enough, obviously. And the eyes are also very big, very big. So according to that, we have to increase the scale of this one a bit more, probably about there, and increase the strength to about there. Okay, 0.5 I guess, and reduce the radius to about there, a little smaller. How about that? It doesn't look like a bear though. And let's play with the curves a bit more. Let's bring this down a bit, and this down, and this one a little down as well. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this one. So obviously this is just to show how things can be done. Like even after tweaking more settings and changing the sizes and stuff, we can get better results, obviously. But yeah, so far this is what we got, and you can render this. It's not like a proper perfect gummy bear, but yeah, it's something. Hopefully you guys understood the workflow and some tips. And obviously I want to move this a little above to about 0.8, 0.38, 0.4 I guess. Yeah, that's even better. And let's not make it too smooth. Let's make it a little.
Gummy bears don't usually scatter that much light. It's more absorbent.
Oh, okay. Let's then. I can decrease the density a little less than here by multiplying this by 2 or something. 0.5. Yeah, this is better. Like 0.7. 0.4. Or is this too much?
0.5, 0.6.
0.5 is small as well. 0.6 is okay, I guess. somewhere
That's
between.
weird.
Yeah. So what, like 0.6 of this value? Maybe a little less, a little less. Yeah. Maybe I can decrease the light in the world setting.
The reflection should also be a bit rough.
Yeah, yeah. It's completely like about that. Yes.
And then make the volume scatter less dense.
Yes, 1 second. Let's make it 0.5 to see things better. And let's go to object. Volume scatter like about 3. Yeah. Or 4.
No, with the multiply, it should still scatter less light.
Not really sure how shaders work. I guess.
Can you just try getting rid of all the volume scatter and just use absorption?
Really?
Yeah, that looks better.
Yeah, how? I thought we should both. I was talking to Syncretic and he was like, maybe I didn't mention Gummy Bear. I was just thinking about like a jello or something. Yeah, this actually looks better. The color, let's increase this to like 3 or something. Oh no, no, no. Let's remove this. Let's give this a direct color for the volume scatter. And then brighten this up. That's about it.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, Matisse, I think that's a good idea. Not really sure. I mean, I have never used geometry cards actually. I think I should use them more. Uh, will geometry update with displacement? I mean, the geometry coordinates. Let me know if you can find that out. Okay, I think this is a good start. This is like one of my first huge vector displacement shader.
Uh, the problem with geometry, position, or texture coordinate object is that they don't uh, scale. They
Yeah,
don't dynamically change with the displacement
yeah.
when you're looking at them.
Mm,
Before before you see it, it does the displacement and then it changes after. So
mm-hmm.
it's just harder to visualize, although you could get the exact same result with object, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. That's what I was having a doubt. Like the geometry codes don't, right? I mean, they don't change dynamically, right? Like generator does.
Yeah, they don't. It's
Yeah,
just the position of the geometry.
geometry, initial geometry, I guess. Yeah, that's it. That's about it. So I think I'll close the stream here. And thanks for coming, guys. And this will be unlisted for a while. There's a little bit of editing at the start, and then I'll upload this again. Okay then. See you. Bye. Bye all. Thanks for all. Thanks for coming, everyone.